Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather around for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Where Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the sheer face of Half Dome, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt will be your compass, your confidant, your companion as we explore the wonders of travel. So sit back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust whoosh over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt by your side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt on the Where Yinz Goin podcast because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shot for your guide through the highways and byways of travel, your planning partner, the voice of the still city, Matt Schraeder. Hi, Yinz doing? Welcome to the Where Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me today for the fifth time is Amanda, who was also on to talk about Disneyland, the Magic Kingdom resorts at Walt Disney World, the Universal during the holidays, and the Universal Orlando signature resorts. So we have to distinguish between the Amandas. This is Amanda B, and
Yes, we have
she's
a lot of Amandas that are, well, we have Amandas and Mandys. There's a bunch of
yes,
us.
there are a lot. You need like a scorecard, like they say at the
I know.
ball game, to keep track of everybody.
Yep.
But in the past, Amanda has shown her versatility as a travel advisor by talking about all these different locations. And today she's going to add to that. We're going to talk about the Beaches Resort on Turks and Caicos,
This has
which
quickly become one of my favorite islands. So,
I think it's always hard for me to find my favorite island. It's usually the last one I was just at or the next one I'm going to. So
yep.
it varies. But just a little bit of history on Turks and Caicos. There are Turks Islands and Caicos Islands. There's 8 main islands and about 30 smaller ones. And the name Caicos comes from the was it Taino, T-A-I-N, Taino word. Was it Kayahiko, which means string of islands. Okay, that makes sense. And then Turks comes from the Turk's cap cactus. Try saying that 3 times fast. This cactus has a red growth on top that looks like one of those red fezzes that the Turks in the Ottoman Empire wore. So, and if you Google it, it actually looks like one of those. It's pretty amazing. So it's about 99 miles north of Hispaniola, about 620 miles southeast of Miami. It is a British territory, but, well, of course, obviously from there, the English is the official language, but they also use the US dollar, which is interesting. But that's even better because you don't have to worry about exchange rates. They're on Eastern time, and the highest point is only 157 feet above sea level. So it's fairly flat and extremely gorgeous. Now, a little bit about beaches is they have 2 resorts. One is on Turks and Caicos, the other one's Negril, which is on Jamaica. These are all inclusive. They are very family friendly resorts, and they're the sister resorts to Sandals. Now, Sandals has 17 resorts on 8 different Caribbean islands, and we've talked about them before on this podcast. They're also all inclusive, but they are adults only. So, if you're going with a family, beaches is the place to go. Now, if you're gonna get there, you're gonna fly into. All right, I'm gonna try and get through this. Providenciales International Airport. PLS is the airport code, and
I think that was
Provident.
pretty close.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I I studied Spanish in high school, but that was a long time ago. So,
Yeah.
Providenciales is the largest city in Turks and Caicos. It's also the name of the island that you're going to fly into, and that's the third largest island in the chain. The island is sometimes called Provo by the locals, which I like that better. It's a whole lot easier to pronounce.
Mhm.
And now it's about a 2 hour flight from Miami, and then the Beaches Resort is only about a 15-minute drive from the airport. So, Amanda, whenever you went down, where did you fly out of? Because you went down with one of our other travel advisors. Was it Chelsea went to,
Yes.
with these two?
So I'm local to Louisville, Kentucky, but we had a connection in Atlanta. That's where we met. And I think when you book your flight, it says it's about 3 hours from Atlanta, but it ended up being a little less than 2.5, so it was very manageable flight. So if you got a connection from Miami or somewhere like that, you're even closer.
Yeah, and it's I saw when I was looking that the flights ranged from Miami from like an hour and 45 minutes, like 2 hours, 15 minutes. So I guess it depends on the type of aircraft you're on with the if you have a
Yeah.
tailwind, if the
If your
pilot
pilot
has
wants to get there quicker, yeah.
I say he's going to Turks and Caicos, so he probably
Yeah.
does go faster. Just depends on when his dinner reservation is, I guess.
And this airport is one of the smallest I've ever been in. I've been in a few airports. So it was very tiny. All the gates are in one area. So hot tip is if you're flying when you leave, bring some snacks or grab a pizza from your resort and take it with you to the airport because there's not a lot of options. Um, yeah, but the good thing about being in a small airport is you typically get through customs and immigration quickly, and that was our experience also. So that was nice.
That goes on both ways. That whenever you're arriving, getting through customs so you can get to your resort, and whenever you're leaving, you don't have a really long line to worry about. It's not like you're going through MCO in Orlando.
Yes, yep. So there's not a lot to do, but you're also not hopefully going to be there that long. So it's good.
And it gives you time whenever you're in the airport on your way home to just reminisce and look through all your pictures and organize those and
Yes,
the whole post resort, post vacation wind down.
yes,
Although I think I might have you beat on tiny airports. Here in Morgantown, West Virginia, we have one that I think they're like is maybe a gate, maybe two gates to
yeah,
go through. I don't even know if there's a security thing. I'm sure they check you somewhere, but
yeah.
yeah, it's small.
I think there's a airport. It's in Panama City Beach, Florida, and we checked in, and the person who checked us in at the gate and got our luggage was the person we saw at security, and then he took our ticket before boarding. So that was that was the smallest one I think I've experienced. And so
Yeah, I think that's comparable to the Morgantown one.
yeah,
So now, since the beaches resorts are all inclusive, here's the things that it includes: food and drink. There are, it says 20 restaurants, but there's a little bit more in there. There's a couple other places you can eat too. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and anytime snacks. I like the anytime snacks personally. There's unlimited premium liquors, 14 bars, including swim up bars, a stocked bar in every room, and unlimited Robert Mondavi Twin Oaks wines.
yes. So you can pay if you'd like different wine selections, but the Robert Mondavi, that's what's included. So there's top shelf liquors, and then not only I know that you mentioned the swim up bars, so you think adults, big swim up bar in the pool, you get your pina coladas and things, but they also have a kids swim up pool by the water park, which has different frozen slushies and things for the kids, and it was adorable.
Yeah, I think that's just so neat that it kids want to grow up way too fast, and then once you reach a certain age, you want to be a kid again. But having
Yeah.
let the kids do what the adults are doing,
Yes.
sort of,
Yeah.
just on a legal way.
Yeah. I think it's a swim up beverage station. So you get a Coke or whatever they want at the little, has the smaller stools, and they can go down the water slide and swim right up and get a drink.
And I know that would be my daughter's favorite because one, she's I think part dolphin because she wants to spend
Yeah.
the entire time in the water anyway, and just for the sheer novelty of when does a kid get to have a swim up beverage station that oh, I'm in the pool, let me get a drink. It's usually
Yeah.
hey, food away from the pool, we don't want to do it, and here you actually get to break some of the rules.
And it's nice because mom and dad get a break because they don't have to run up and go get another Coke or non-alcoholic daiquiri or anything. The kids get to service themselves, and mom and dad get to relax.
Oh, this might be a downside of hey, mom, can I have another one? No, it's like, but it doesn't cost any money. It's included.
Right.
So yeah, I know my daughter would use that. She's smart and she finds new ways to get in trouble and be devious. So yeah.
Yes.
Now we'll hit on some of these a little bit later on, but a few of the things you can do for activities. Scuba is included if you are certified. So that's really nice. They have paddle boards, kayaks, are they Hobie cats?
Yes.
Hobie. They're like small catamaran sailboat thingies. There's snorkeling equipment. You can get professional instruction for water sports like wakeboarding, water skiing. There's tennis and of course pickleball and other things you can do on land. A fitness center, entertainment and shows. As Amanda mentioned, the Pirate Island Water Park, or excuse me, Pirates Island, plural. And then the Caribbean Adventures with Sesame Street, including the Sesame Street Parade on Fridays. So if you have little kids who are in the Sesame Street demographic, they're going to love it here.
Yes. Yeah, they
Ten,
really make it fun, even if your kids are, you think they might be a little bit older for Sesame Street. The parade is really like a Caribbean celebration, almost like a teeny tiny version of maybe Carnival or something. There's people on stilts and all kinds of different things. It's Sesame Street with flavor. It's not just it's not just regular Sesame Street.
it's a little Sesame Street with a little spice.
Yes,
And now sprinkled throughout the resort, there's 10 pools, four whirlpools, and a scuba diving pool. So those of you who are going to go scuba diving or those who are beginners, they offer classes and certification that you don't have to be like out in the ocean and worrying about other things. You can focus on a more controlled atmosphere whenever you're learning to scuba dive.
yes,
Now, one thing they do not include are worries because this is a worry-free area. There's a kids camp with certified nannies. Is the Caribbean's first certified autism center. Tips, taxes, gratuities are included. Round trip airport transfer. So that 15-minute ride is not going to cost you anything extra. And Wi-Fi in the room and common areas. So whenever you take your awesome pictures, you can post them to Instagram immediately. Always important.
yes.
Now in the resort, there are 858 rooms. They're opening it as of March 1st, 2026. There will be 858. There's a new place that's just opening, Treasure Beach Village. And so if you're looking at this, it's spread out across, on the beach, that the different areas that they have. The Treasure Beach area is the farthest west. There's 101 rooms there. Then the Caribbean and Seaside villages, these are just to the east of Treasure Beach. The Seaside is on the beach. There's 79 rooms. And then the Caribbean island area is located just south of that. So right next to it. And that's like where the front desk is located. And there's like 204 rooms. Moving over east again is the Italian village, and the Pirate Island Water Park is just south of it. So it's very close. There's 162 rooms there, just to give you an idea of the size. And then farthest east is Key West Village, which, why is Key West on the east? I don't get it. I don't know. It's the islands. Just don't worry about it. Just go with it, right?
Yeah.
156 rooms there. And then the French Village, this is southwest of the Pirate Island Park. So it's the farthest inland one, farthest south area. It is just to the east of the tennis and pickleball courts, though. It's not on the beach, and this one also has 156 rooms. So give you a general layout of the land.
And just to kind of summarize, so the French Village is going to be like in the entry level. It's going to be the lead-in rooms. And then you get to Italian Village, and there's going to be, and we're going to go through some room categories, but it's going to have suites. And then same with the Caribbean Seaside, they're also going to have some suites. And then Key West, it's very on the nose. When you walk through, it's literally like you're walking through Key West, the way it's designed. You feel like you're in a Florida subdivision, the way the buildings, the architecture. There's going to be, and there's butler categories sprinkled in the Caribbean and Italian also, but there are going to be more butler options in the Key West Village. And then Treasure Beach, which is going to be the new section, is going to be modern, new, lots of options for concierge and butler. But each village is going to have pools close to it. It's going to have restaurants around. You're not going to have to walk super far to find one of those things. So that's nice. When we were just there, it was something every day. We were like, well, what pool are we going to try today? We would just walk around and find a new option. So
Yeah, and there's food options everywhere, but if there's one specifically you want, then you might have to walk across the resort a little
yes,
bit. But
but if
there's
you're just
some,
hungry, something close.
and they have the different restaurants. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but it's not like, oh, here's the only Italian restaurant here. Here they have a couple of them, so you're gonna be able to
Mm-hmm.
find something you like fairly close.
Yes, and all of the this is a family friendly resort, so every restaurant is going to have an option that your kids most likely that your kids will eat.
Or your picky spouse or whatever else too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And now there are 62 room categories you can choose from. So we're going to list every single one and go, no, we're not going to do that. So the difference categories, they're based on location, size, amenities, and as Amanda mentioned, there's luxury options, there's concierge, there's butler, and the room names are very descriptive. So they tell you like everything that you're getting. Like for example, the Key West luxury one bedroom concierge suite. You kind of know what you're getting.
Yeah,
And like the
which
keep go ahead.
which as a travel advisor especially I appreciate because I like reading the room and knowing what's in there. Is with that many room categories, it's impossible to memorize all of them and what they have. And the titles make it easy to quickly know what you're looking at without looking through 100 pictures.
Exactly. Although looking at the pictures is nice because all these rooms are gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten in the trouble of looking at one is like, oh, that is so pretty. I'd like to stay there. No,
Mm-hmm.
that one is prettier. I want to no, and it just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
Like another one is the Key West accessible Grande Lux Concierge Suite. So they have accessible options as well for those with mobility issues or in a wheelchair, whatever else. So it's open for everybody. That there's no reason you can't go unless
Yeah.
you just don't want to have fun. Another one like the Italian Ocean View Walkout Concierge Family Suite with kids rooms. And then this one I think is one of my favorites, the Italian Beachfront Penthouse two-bedroom Imperial Butler Family Suite that sleeps 12. So if you have a big group going, that's where sign me up.
Yes.
It's one of those things like every word keeps getting better. Now, as Manu mentioned, some of the least expensive options are going to be the deluxe double category, which has two double beds and a sleeper chair, and it sleeps four, or the deluxe king, which will have a king bed, a trundle bed, and also sleep four. Now, the trundle beds, it's like a bed with a mattress, and then like under that mattress, there's another mattress that like slides out to the side.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when I was younger, I was in high school, I think, that my one friend had one of those in his room. And we were over there one day and they did whatever. Like, oh my God, those things exist? And
Yeah, it's like a teeny tiny version of a bunk bed, so it allows you to make the most of your space and but still have enough comfy options for people to sleep. And there are, when you look at the room categories, there are a lot of room categories that just have the king bed with the trundle. And I've had people, concerned about space, but I personally laid on one of these while we were doing our resort tour and took a picture of myself on it as a 5'5". I'm as tall as I'm going to get now, but I'm average height for an adult woman. And so if you have kids, they're going to be comfy on these beds. It's about the size of a single mattress, like a twin. So,
and I think we should get one of these at our house that my little girl, she pretty much does gymnastics when she's in bed and
yeah.
flips around. And we've actually got rid of her bed. Now we just put the mattress on the floor because she's fallen out of it a couple times. I think the trundle bed would be the way to go though, because that
Yeah,
way
I
if
would
she
catch
falls
her.
out, she has something soft to land on.
Yeah.
Now, on the other end of some of the most expensive ones and the most, elaborate, the Treasure Beach Ocean View two-story, three-bedroom butler suite. This will sleep seven. It is 1,798 square feet, so almost 1,800 square feet, which is bigger than my house. So it's two stories, three bedrooms, three bathrooms, a balcony. You get the butler with it. I might just sell my house and just move there. Take an upgrade. And then probably the most elaborate one is the, well, not even probably, just the most elaborate, the Treasure Beach Crystal Sky 4 bedroom reserve villa. This will sleep 10, 2,612 square feet, 3 stories, 4 bedrooms. It has queen size bunk beds, which this is interesting, the layout of this, that it's not like the traditional bunk bed. It's more like a mini loft that the one bed's on the bottom, the other one's above it, but there's like actual regular stairs that go up to get into this top queen bunk bed. So I wouldn't mind having that in my house either. 3 bathrooms, of course, the ocean view. You have a private pool, direct access to the beach, and there's a rooftop deck. Now, did you get a chance to look at any of these when you were there? I mean,
So Treasure Beach is not open yet. It's fully a construction site. They told, we were peeking through the gate to see if we could see anything, but they're still working on it. So I've only seen renderings.
I didn't know if any of the buildings were complete. I knew they were still working on it. I'm
They're
wondering
getting
if
the outside is pretty much the bones are there, but none of the inside was available for us to see.
they're going to have a telescope on the top on that little rooftop deck because some of the
That
sandals
would be a
resorts
good
they have that.
opportunity. Yeah.
So I guess just
They
have
may be
to.
worried about the kids. You hope adults don't break it, but you don't know what the kids are going to do. So.
Yeah, I remember whenever we talked about it before that I think it was Katie, Stephanie, and maybe Sue went down, and we had them on to talk about sandals, and they said it didn't have the eyepiece in the telescope. That they had to put it
Mm-hmm.
in. That they didn't keep it in there normally just to prevent anyone from coming up and doing whatever. That you had to get it later to
Right.
put in if you're going to use it. So now one of the interesting rooms that I found noticed was the Caribbean Honeymoon Grande Luxe Double. It has double beds and a sleeper chair, sleeps four. But if it's a honeymoon room, why do you need 2 double beds? Unless you're like Ozzie and Harriet from like the 1950s, or if you have very shy
Yep.
newlyweds, I'm not sure.
So Sandals and Beaches use the same terms over and over. And so when you see something like honeymoon, you know it's going to be a lead-in room. And so that tells you, we were talking about the descriptive titles. Honeymoon, I know it's going to be maybe lower cost. It's going to be a lead-in room, more affordable. Um, and then the luxury categories are the same thing. Luxury is going to be the base room that you get, and then concierge is going to be the next step above that, where you get a concierge team to make dining reservations at the restaurants that require them for you, so you don't have to go to the culinary desk yourself and do that. You get a dedicated check-in specialist when you're concierge level, so that can help expedite things sometimes. And then the top tier is going to be butler, which is the best way to describe it is like you have a personal genie for your during your stay. They will get you nearly anything that's legal and ethical. Whatever you want in those terms, they're there to help you. Um, so I will tell you, once you go butler, you don't want to go back because it makes your life, your vacation life, amazing.
Oh, and the people who work as butlers, they are so fabulous that they really take their job seriously of making your stay as comfortable as possible.
Yes. And the butlers are one thing, Sandals and Beaches, it's all inclusive. Um, but butler attendants, spa personnel, those are people that you tip to show your appreciation for their hard work, and they earn it. If you want them to reserve your pool chairs in the morning, they'll have that done for you. So the time you go out there, you let them know the day before your chairs are set up. If you want to spend a day at the beach, they'll pack you a cooler if you want to go down. They'll save your beach chairs. They'll bring you dinner or lunch, breakfast, snacks, whatever you want to your room. There's almost no end to the comfort that they provide.
I forget which one of the resorts it was. I think it was one of the Sandals resorts that in their one pool they have like stepping stones that you could, kind of walk across the pool. And if you're doing it, it makes it look like you're kind of walking on water. And I saw
Hmm.
a picture of a butler carrying a
Oh,
drinks as he's walking across. So like
there,
the butlers there will walk on water for you.
yes. So we splurged and had a butler room category. My husband and I did when we went in this past June to Sandals Royal Bahamian. And we had a swim out and we would be in our swim out. There's privacy hedges that kind of line it. And we, just be sitting around, and our butler would kind of pop over and say, I brought these drinks. Would you all like these? I thought you might want something. It's like, you know what? I do want that. Thank you. They know your needs even before you do, and work to make you feel pampered and comfortable. And it's very nice.
So on top of their service, they also can either predict the future or read your mind.
I
Maybe
think they
both.
just service so many people. They probably are like, most people like this. Let
It's
me let
experience,
me do
yeah.
this. Yeah. What can I do to make their experience great? And they do that.
And I'm gonna go back though, something that Amanda kind of glossed over that the luxury category, the lux category is the lowest one. So the least you're gonna get is luxury.
Yeah.
So
It's a luxury all inclusive resort. It's I'm not saying every room is going to be, you're going to walk in and feel like you're at the Taj Mahal. There are rooms that are a little dated that need some love, but your experience is a luxury experience. All the amenities are luxury. The food is good. It is a luxury experience.
and one note on the honeymoon rooms, you don't need to be on your honeymoon to actually rent reserve them.
No,
So don't
I
worry.
have had people ask me that before when I've added them to quotes. We're not on our honeymoon. I'm like, it's okay. You can pretend.
Just makes it that much more magical.
Yes.
And now the important thing, food.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned before, there are 20 restaurants, there are 3 food trucks, 14 bars, and a frozen yogurt place. So in with the Sandals Beaches resorts, there are some similar names to the restaurants that they have like throughout their other resorts that if you go from one to the other, you'll recognize, oh yeah, they had Caminos there too, and they had this place here too. And
Yes, they
so
do repeat dining concepts. Some of the new resorts they call the Sandals 2.0 or the newer Sandals, you'll start to find newer dining experiences. So it's nice for people who get those favorites and they want to try a new location but want that favorite meal that they had somewhere else. You can still recreate that. And if I will say, I probably book more all inclusive than any other category for clients. And when I talk to people who are returning to all inclusive, they haven't visited before, or maybe it's their first time, their biggest concern is food. I went to this all inclusive, so and so, I won't name the brand. Food was terrible. We didn't eat anything all week. You're not going to have that problem at Sandals. The food is good. You won't have trouble finding a meal that you like.
and the other thing is that if you have any food allergies or food restrictions or sensitivities or whatever else, they will cater to you. And you just have to let us know beforehand. We can put a note in. They have one of their concierge people or one of the dining people, whatever it is, who comes and will sit down and in the beginning, whenever you arrive, and kind of make a plan for you of here's what,
Yep.
where you can eat. We can make this for you. Here's some good foods that won't bother you. And we did a whole podcast about that last year too. So, and we highlighted Sandals and Disney for being exceptional with this. And since beaches and sandals are pretty much the same thing, you can get a whole lot more details about that.
Yes. And so on top of that, they will also, every restaurant you go to, when you sit down before they take your order, they will confirm, do you have any food allergies? So it's another catch-all, just to make sure that you and your family are safe.
Yeah, making check and double check, make sure nothing slips through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the hours and meals that are offered at the different restaurants vary. So, either talk to your travel advisor or make sure you check that beforehand because it's nothing worse than getting your hopes up of, oh, I'm in the mood for this. Let's go to that restaurant we ate at last night and oh, it's closed right now. So just be prepared that not everything is open all the time. And sometimes there might be like an hour gap between a breakfast and a lunch. Usually that's for a
Mm-hmm.
buffet that they have to swap out the food. And so they just want to have some closed time to do that without interrupting people's meals. Now, the dress code for most places is resort casual. But at Butch's Island Chop House, it's resort evening attire. Similarly, you don't need reservations for most of them, but again, Butch's Chop House needs those, and that's going to be in the new area that's going to open in March. And a few of them do have minimum ages. The We got Cepadillas, Caribbean Cuisine, Le Petit Chateau, and Sky are all 12 years or older. So just be prepared if you're traveling with kids.
And Sky is on a rooftop, so it's like I don't know that I want to eat on a rooftop with my 2 year old. You know what I mean? Like I want to be on the ground. So um, some people see that and they're like, oh, that's frustrating. I have a 7 year old, we don't get to eat there. Well, one, you can take advantage of the complimentary kids club that's 0 to 17 that sandals or beaches out from other all inclusives. A lot of them start at 2 or 3. And then also, um, if you're traveling as an adult only, you're on your honeymoon or anniversary or with an adult group, it is nice to have options where you can feel like if you don't want to be surrounded by younger kids all the time, you don't have to. They do provide opportunities for adults to have kind of a getaway also.
Personally, I really, really like kids. They're great to have around. Although it's better when they're someone else's kids because then you can give them back whenever they get fussy.
I'm kind of the opposite. I like my kids. I don't so much like other people's kids. So when I'm on vacation, sometimes if you I don't get to take very many vacations. We don't like to leave the kids very often, but when we do, it is nice to have a break, and have some adult time without younger kids.
Yeah, every once in a while, yes.
Yeah, because
No,
then when
some
I see them, I'm like, oh, I miss my kids. Where are my kids?
was it absence makes the heart grow fonder, right?
Yeah.
You need that time away to appreciate, you don't know what you realize what you have until it's not there,
Yes.
even if it's just temporary. No, a few of the options that you can get with the different restaurants, there's Italian, international, Japanese teppanyaki, or teppanyaki, and it's funny that we took our little daughter to a place that had that, and she tried something, and she's like, "But mommy, why is it teppanyaki? It's not yucky."
Yeah.
So should we change it to teppanyummy because it was good?
Yeah. Let them know.
There's Southwest food, there's seafood, Caribbean, of course. There's grilled specialties, classic French patisserie, uh, Neapolitan pizza, British pub, sushi, American. There's a cafe, and of course, the Yo-Yo Froyo, which is the frozen yogurt place. And since it's free, I know my little girl would be lining up. Can I get another Froyo, please?
Yeah, not just her. I visited Yo-Yo Froyo more than I did any other place, I think, while we were there.
It's not ice cream, it's frozen yogurt, so it's healthy, it's okay.
Yeah. They also have a really nice toppings bar. So you definitely want to be there when your kids go in because they could just eat, cupfuls of M&Ms or gummy bears or whatever. And you're chasing them around.
Oh yeah. Kids on a sugar high. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, things to do. There are 12 miles of beach, and they are quote unquote lapped by clear turquoise waters.
So I've been to many islands in the Caribbean. I have never seen water as clear and turquoise as I did at Beaches Turks and Caicos. It was the most beautiful ocean I have ever seen. And I know that's a big praise, but they deserve it. Every time I walked outside, it truly took my breath away. It was beautiful.
And I remember flying, we went to Puerto Rico last year and coming back. I don't think we actually flew directly over Turks and Caicos. I think it was the Bahamas that we were more over. But just looking out the airplane and seeing those islands and then the waters surrounding it, that, we were 30,000 feet up, but I swear I could, like count the starfish there. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a sight. It's unbelievable.
I was sitting in a beach chair, so it's not a super long walk to get in the water from where the beach starts, but I was sitting all the way back. I didn't have my glasses on. And you could watch, there was a stingray that just swam through, and I could see it as clear as if it were, I was standing right in front of it. It was wild.
It was Mr. Ray from Finding Nemo,
Yeah.
getting it, teaching his school of fish. And now, if you don't want to have salt water, they have like I said, the 10 pools of fresh water, well, chlorinated water, whichever. There's the water park that we mentioned before, the themed to pirates, and who doesn't like pirates? It is 45,000 square feet. There's 11 water slides, three of them which are pretty big water slides, a lazy river, a splash deck. There's a surf simulator. I've done one of those before. They're fun, and I don't know if it's more fun to be on it or to wipe out on it because
It's more fun to watch.
watching
It's
it too,
option three to watch people fall.
especially when we were watching one person do it and they wiped out and the water, it's like being forced water, jetted up in order to let you surf, and it caught them and they got airborne at the top of the ramp or the edge of the top of the thing and landed on the safely on the padding up top, but
Yeah,
it was impressive.
I can't do it for sure.
I didn't surf. I just did like a boogie board, lay on my stomach type
Yeah,
thing. That was enough for me. Now they have fitness classes that are offered Monday through Friday. Last I checked on the schedule, it was a 7 o'clock a.m., 10:30 a.m., and 3 o'clock p.m. So I don't know. I don't function too well at 7 o'clock in the morning doing actual activity.
I can't relate to people who work out on vacation, so I don't have a lot of input here. I've not researched
Right.
this thoroughly.
And whenever I was younger, I did yoga, and sometimes they would offer like a very early, like on the weekends, like 8 o'clock in the morning class. And I go, it's like I am way too stiff to do it. I need to do my stretching before I can do my stretching for yoga.
Yeah,
But stretching is one of the things they offer. Power walks, workouts in the pool. So that's nice because you're not getting, out and sweaty. You're staying in the pool. Those are always fun. There's a beach workout. They have gym assistants. There's cardio, weight training. So all kinds of stuff. Now, I don't mind the power walk thing that, especially out in Disneyland, that's really cool that if you stay in one of the Disneyland resorts, you can do a power walk through California Adventure in the morning on certain days. And the just getting in the park without any people was really cool. But doing a power walk through these gorgeous resorts, that's something I could do.
yeah.
I don't run anymore. Couple knee surgeries, no thanks. Now, I mentioned before the scuba diving, which is free for certified divers, and they do offer diving for non-certified divers for a fee. And there's a intro to scuba class. You can get PADI certified at beaches, and there's even diving for kids. So I've gone scuba diving once, and that was fun. Although it's an interesting experience. I will definitely say that. Trying to, whenever you breathe through the tube, it's not like just there's air there like normally. It's like you have to trust it whenever you breathe in, what air is going to come. So it takes a little getting used to it first.
Yeah, I haven't been able to conquer my fear and do that.
My wife had some issues trying to just snorkel that she she has to really think about breathing through her mouth as opposed through her nose. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever she was first trying, there were a couple of times that she came up gasping and coughing. It's like, oh, work on that again. Well, it's a little bit easier when you have the actual snorkel mask on rather than just goggles. The using the fins whenever you are underwater too, that takes some getting used to. The best I can say is try to like the motion you use is like pedaling a bicycle backwards was the best I could get at it. And I still wasn't that good, so maybe I was doing it wrong. I don't know.
Mm.
But other activities in the water, as I mentioned before, there's kayaks. There's also windsurfing, snorkeling, the Hobie Cats, where you can learn to sail too. Uh, paddle boards, water skiing, wakeboarding. Did they have a banana boat or a glass bottom boat there? And that's offered at
I
some
don't.
resorts. I wasn't able to find
I
if they had it exactly here.
I can't say that I looked for them, but I don't remember seeing them. They did have those like giant bicycle things that you
Oh
could
yeah,
ride. They had those.
it's like the different version of a paddle boat type thing or pedal boats, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now on land, and just because it's the hottest sport in the world now, pickleball.
So in Sandals and Beaches have actually, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but it's the American Association of Pickleball or whatever their title is. They've partnered with them. So they have a representative come down, inspect the courts. It's a legitimate pickleball setup if you are into pickleball.
And especially if you're a serious player, you know you're getting some good courts there.
Hmm.
There's basketball and arcade basketball, beach volleyball, soccer, tennis, foosball, croquet, shuffleboard. It would not be a vacation without shuffleboard, I don't think. There's also bocce ball, table tennis, billiards and pool, air hockey, lawn chess, board games you can use, horseshoes, cards you can rent, so or borrow. Don't have to pay anything for them. So if you get bored at a beaches resort, then you're trying to be bored.
Yeah, or you've been there for a month or something. I don't know. You'd have to be there for a really long time.
Although by the time you go through all that list, it might take a month. So then you get to start over again. It's like, oh, I haven't done that in a while. Now, as Amanda mentioned before, the kids clubs, there are two of them. One's in the Key West Village, one in the Caribbean Village. They are INA and IBCCES certified nannies and staff, if I can enunciate today. And then they have age appropriate activities for different groups. And there's the infant program for newborns through 2 years old, the toddler program, 3 and 4, navigators program for 5 through 7, adventurers program, 8 through 10, the tweens are 11 through 14, and then the teens program, 15 through 17. So there's something for everyone. No kids will be left out for this.
Hmm.
And then as part of that, there's the Shadow Lounge, which is for the ages 11 through 17. So the tweens and teens. There's a gaming lounge, the Port Royal Game Center, table tennis, foosball, air hockey, pool tables, indoor basketball. So you're in the tropics. If it's during the summer, you don't want to be out and hot. Don't worry, stay inside. And now some of that is open to. They do have stuff for the gaming center and things like that for older people. We'll hit on that in a minute. But we mentioned before the Caribbean Adventures with Sesame Street, and there's a lot that you can do with the Sesame Street thing beyond just the parade that Amanda mentioned before. That there's story time with your Sesame Street friends, and next one's my favorite: Bake with Cookie Monster.
Yeah, we were all very impressed by that. We thought that was so neat.
I mean, one, you get cookies. Two, it's with Cookie Monster,
Yeah,
and even going back to whenever I was little, him and Oscar the Grouch were my favorites. That the first pets that my sister and I had were little goldfish, and they were Cookie Monster and Oscar. So it's close to my heart. What can I say? There's surprise tea time with Abby, Abby Cadabby, and Elmo. Puppet making with Bert and Ernie. With that just sounds like fun. Just doing puppetry stuff with Bert and Ernie. There's the rock and roll dance party with Elmo and Rosita. Everyday Heroes Club with Super Grover, another one of my favorites. And my daughter loves the book, The Monster at the End of This Book. So that's like right up her alley. Move and Groove with Zoe and Rosita. So Rosita gets around. She's busy doing stuff with the guests there. And that's a nice thing to get more energy out for your kids.
yeah,
Number of the day with a count. Again, not something near and dear to my heart. Letter of the day with Sesame Street Pals. So it's you don't have to worry about taking your kids out of school for this because they're going to get an education, especially for the younger ones. There's learning. So it's an
yeah,
educational thing. There's amazing art with Julia, exploring the moon with Elmo, the parades. There's also stage shows. There's character appearances. So there is so much that Beaches does partnering with Sesame Street characters that kids of that age are, you know, I want to say the next best thing to Disney or maybe even better than it. I don't know.
yeah. It's definitely, people are concerned when they're going to go to a beach resort that their kids are going to be bored. And their Beaches is trying to find that demographic that goes to Disney every year and wants a break, wants to go to a beach and relax, but still give their kids lots of options. They also have yoga with Elmo, which is very cute. And the character appearances, they walk around the resort, they stop by the pools, they pop in the kids clubs, hang out with the kids. Like you don't have to be at a scheduled event to see the Sesame Street characters. and they are all fun. They dote on your kids. They make it a good time.
And now for those who aren't kids, they have Club Liquid. It's a nightclub. And then for everyone, there is beach parties. They include fire dancers and limbo or fire eaters and limbo dancers. And of course, there's food there.
Mm-hmm.
They have other live shows. They include now. Here's where the dancers are. There's steel pan bands. Reggae grooves is another one, and also there's food. And the steel pan bands, oh, those I could listen to those play all day, every day. Uh, just listening to like a drum line with a marching band. That just well, it's music to my ears. It there's something about that sound. I think the other thing with it is that it, especially the steel pan bands, is it screams island vacation.
Yeah,
So, you're there, you get the smells of the ocean, you get the, smells of the food, you're on the beach, you're relaxing, and then you hear that and it just makes everything just fit perfectly. Now, here's the stuff that adults can do too. There's a play lounge, the resort arcade, and then playmakers. And these people will organize games and activities. So, extra little things whenever you're by the beach or whatever else. For the those who are old enough to legally drink and prove it, they have cocktail parties, the art of the drink. So, you can kick back, relax, and enjoy with those. They have live bands and talent shows that guests get to participate in.
yes. They also had things like they had a silent disco, which is fun to participate in, but more fun to watch people do.
And anyone
um,
who's not familiar with the silent disco is, do you want to explain it, Amanda, or would you like me to?
sure, so there's a DJ. This particular one had three different DJs, and then everybody has headphones, and you click your station to which DJ you want to listen to, and you can switch back and forth. But it just plays the music into your headphones, so everyone's listening to different songs and dancing and having fun.
And so, yeah, Amanda said watching that, seeing people, one, just people dancing is often entertaining, but then seeing people dance to three different songs potentially, like, one's doing a little fast thing, another one's doing this, someone else is doing that, and just different rhythms and everything. It's something to behold. You have to see it. And the other
Yes,
nice thing is, one of the bad things about going to a traditional nightclub where the music is so loud is that if you actually want to talk to the person you're dancing with, you have to scream into their ear, and it's not the best for conversations. Here, if you want to talk to the person, take the headphones off, and you can actually have a
yes.
conversation.
The funniest part is, when if you're out at a club or something and the music's loud, people sing and you don't hear people sing because the music's so loud. Well, people forget that they're wearing these headphones and that around them it's silent. So they're just, belting it out, tone deaf or not, and forget that people walking by aren't wearing headphones.
And that's another thing that whenever you're there, make sure you keep the headphones on so you're not hearing all the belting out of bad
Yeah.
singing.
But they also had adult only entertainment. So there was like a couples game show for just adults or movie trivia just for adults. There were offerings to where if you were there with a group, bachelorette party, anniversary, whatever it may be, there were things that you could do. Karaoke, they had that.
Yeah, and the whole singing thing, that is definitely not my vibe that I I have sung professionally before, but that was just because I was singing. Someone paid me to leave, so it
Mm.
says something about my musical abilities. And now some of the extras, which Amanda hit on before, is they have a Sesame Street VIP package, which includes a couple different things you can add, including a character breakfast. So again, you get to meet the characters and get a meal. There's Night Night Sleep Tight, which is a nighttime tuck-in thing that the characters can come in, help put the kids to bed. Although,
Yeah,
make sure your kids have met the characters during the day and they're okay with them.
that's a good tip. Not all kids like um, the giant characters, they're disoriented when they see them, and they're 8 feet tall and not tiny like they are on the TV screen.
And some of them, they're fine seeing them from like 20 feet away. Like whenever we
Yeah,
were in, this was, 15 years ago, we were in Disney with my sister and her kids. That they're like the youngest one now is a senior in high school. But at the time, she was like 3 years old. And the two older boys got wanted to get pictures with Mickey, Minnie, and the whole crew. And it was in Epcot when they had like inside area to go to. And so my sister held my niece for the first one, and my niece was being shy and just hugging my sister real close. But then for the other pictures, they let the boys just go and get the pictures themselves, rather than get the whole family picture. And my niece did not want to be anywhere near the characters. So she was back as far as she could, back against the wall, but this huge grin on her face because she loved seeing the characters. One of them took a step for her. That face went from sheer joy to complete terror and
yeah.
shaking no. Character took a step back to where they were before, huge grin again. So knowing the safe space um, and distance, that was a big thing with her. So she would not have gone for the nighttime tuck in unless it was maybe just waving from the door. They can also arrange private photo shoots. As Amanda mentioned, the Sesame Street Sunrise Yoga, which seeing Elmo do the yoga with the little kids, that is just watching that is enough. Although you got to be up pretty early for that. So again, I don't know if they have sunset yoga, I could do that.
Yeah.
And you can also arrange things for birthday parties too. So if you're celebrating when you're down there, and now not necessarily for a Sesame Street, but other celebrations, as Amanda mentioned, if it's a wedding, an engagement, an anniversary, just the girls' getaway type thing, you can talk to your travel advisor, and then they can help arrange things with the resort. Then the if you need to really relax on vacation and just being in a tropical paradise isn't enough, there's the Red Lane Spa, and they also have some special packages there too that Amanda, you wanted to talk about.
So they have your typical massages, facials, things like that, to where you can get a break. But you can also schedule like mom and me or dad and me facials, massages, things like that, so that the kids can feel pampered too, and you can spend time together.
And it wasn't an all inclusive, but it was a small little spa thing that, just getting a little facial or whatever that my wife and my daughter have done. And again, with little kids, it just makes them feel adult and, oh, mommy does these and mommy's getting this and I get to do it too. And so it's a real
Yeah,
nice bonding experience. Now they offer some local adventure tours too, taking around the island with different things you can arrange. They have a whole bunch of options. So we could list them for like the next hour or so, but
yeah. So all the sandals and beaches will have an excursion company. It's called Island Routes, and there's actually desk on site at your resort, so you can pre-book excursions or book when you're on site, and there is a personal attendant there to answer any questions you have, talk to you, make changes, things like that. So whether you want to, schedule things in advance, or you get there and say, hey, I want to go do a catamaran cruise, or I want to go see the island, things like that. There's somebody there to talk to you and help you set it up, which is nice.
and then we mentioned before about doing the photo shoots with the Sesame Street characters, but you can just do a regular photo shoot too, if it's some momentous occasion, or if your momentous occasion is just going to a gorgeous island and seeing at a beaches resort, whatever.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
we won't
I
discriminate. You can also get private fitness classes. And then I mentioned before about anniversaries and engagements and weddings and stuff. You can also arrange for private candlelit dinners. And often these
Yep.
will be on the beach, and it's, you know, whenever you look up the word romantic in the dictionary, this is what they have a picture of.
Yes. Yeah. So Sandals does that, and Beaches does it too, and you can do it as an adult thing or with your family. Just have a private, nice dinner where you all can talk. Maybe it's something that you want to end the week with, just your family having that time together to recap the trip and talk about the memories made.
or do it midweek whenever the novelty is starting to wear off and everyone still, has their stuff they've made, but you haven't started, getting on each other's nerves a whole lot yet. No, I like Amanda's version better. And now they do offer some other very special events that they have Autism Inclusion Week. This year it's October 5th through 10th. And then they also have a Welcome Home Week. This is for Sandals Rewards members. Again, Sandals Beaches, owned by the same company, just different flavors of the same thing. So that will be April 6th through 10th of 2026. So this is nice thing is this will be after the new area opens, the Treasure Beach area. I went through that fairly quickly. Amanda, do you have anything else you wanted to add? Especially, I saw some of the pictures from your trip.
Yeah, I didn't mention this, but another agent and I were invited to attend they call them Back to the Beaches, Sandals and Beaches. So it's a conference where we have training. They update us on different things going on, the different throughout the brand. So Sandals and Beaches um, give us insight. We get to meet with our business development managers to figure out, it's truly a partnership. That's why I can't specialize in every all-inclusive resort. There's just a million. But I choose to work with Sandals and Beaches because of their customer service, the offerings that they have. So that kind of leads me into my travel tip is that if you get off of this podcast and you Google a week at Beaches, Turks and Caicos, or you reach out to your travel agent, you may say, wow, more expensive than what I would have thought, or the price, you might have sticker shock. But you have to consider what all a beaches vacation includes. And it's the things that we went over, like the quality dining, the kids clubs with the certified nannies. One of the extras we didn't go over was private babysitting service for an additional cost. You can have a personal babysitter for your child. So if you wanted to spend some time but wanted that one-on-one attention with your child, they have that. Almost anything you can imagine they offer. And I just have truly 100% customer satisfaction with Sandals at Beaches, so I continue to present that as an option for my clients. So when you look at the cost and you think that, oh, it's a little higher than I might think, look at those places that you visit year after year. Where I'm from, people visit, they go to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge in Tennessee quite a bit. They go down to the Panhandle in Florida and rent a house and stay for the week. And the base cost of that is less expensive. But when you add all of your meals for the week, all of your taxes, all of your tips, all of your alcohol, all of those things, activities, water sports, all of that, it's very comparable. When you book a cruise, before you add the drink package and the Wi-Fi and all of those things, it really adds up. And then another tip would be if you are able to consider traveling during shoulder season, so that's going to be late summer, fall. You do have a little bit more of a gamble with the weather. The peak season is going to be January to May because the weather's nicer. But if you wanted to save money, we just went the first week of September. It was warm, but we had the most beautiful weather. The resort felt empty. I think it was at 30% capacity. I've never been to a resort, whether it's all inclusive or not, and not had to run out and find a pool chair because they were going to be gone. We had our pick of pool chairs. We walked right into restaurants. So if you're able to consider traveling during the summer, fall season, traveling somewhere where there's not a lot of people, and I feel like I have the resort to myself, is like probably the top of my list. So when I look and bring my family back, that's probably when we will travel.
And to add on to what Amanda said there is that often you get what you pay for. And whenever the only thing you look at is the price, like Amanda mentioned before, of people who've gone to all inclusives, and it was, well, we lost weight on this trip because the food wasn't that good, and so we really didn't eat anything. You're going to pay a little more for amazing food and amazing accommodations, and you're getting quality. You're getting your money's worth on this. Actually, you're probably getting a little bit more than your money's worth compared to some other places. So As my dad says, this is an investment in happiness.
Yes, it's definitely it. You're making an investment for your family with these trips, and I always say memories over gifts because I would rather spend the money and take my kids to these places than buy material things because they're going to remember these vacations with you and what you all did for the rest of their life.
And we could talk for a much longer time about the benefits of travel and going to different countries and different places and experiencing new cultures and things along those lines. That just that added benefit of travel and to have those experiences, like Amanda said, it is worth so much more than, you know, buying that toy that your kid is begging you for and then plays with for 2 minutes and never looks at again.
Yes.
Until you're going to give it away, then they love it. It's their favorite thing in the world. Now, mine will go along the lines of what Amanda said is that a lot of these all inclusive resorts are designed with adults in mind, and they don't have a whole lot specifically for kids. Beaches is not in that group, that they have so many of the activities that are geared just for kids. But again, they're all so again, whenever you're looking, okay, should we go here, here? Beaches are going to have stuff if you have kids they're not going to be bored whenever they're there. Although now, if you are just an adult going down, you want some adult only areas, or if it's a bigger group and you know you want grandma and grandpa are coming so they can watch the kids for a bit, and you want that alone time and just adult thing, you can get your away from the youngsters and you have that escape with the some of the larger suites that you can get. This can make beaches the perfect place to go for groups, whether it's an extended family trip, a girls' getaway, a couple's vacation, whether a couple families that always travel together, things like that. Group of friends, whatever it is. That it doesn't matter if you have kids or not. Everyone can stay in the same villa, but you still have some privacy because you have your individual bedrooms and there's different areas of the resort that you can go to because it's so big that you don't have to spend every second together. Hey, we're going to go to the um, Pirates Island Water Park. Okay, we're going to go to the beach today. All right, we're just going to hang out at the pool. We'll reconvene later and we'll eat lunch together. So factor all that in. But if you're going to have kids, bring come with you. They have plenty to do. Any adults who want their quiet time, you can still find it. So it's the best of both worlds. Now, if you have a destination or an experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite destination or have a travel tip, feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Amanda, how can people get a hold of you?
Oh, I'm Amanda Brown. Don't forget the B. So I'm DVD Amanda D on Facebook, and then Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm Travel Advisor Amanda. My email is amanda b at dreamsbydesigntravel.com.
Here at the podcast, we're on Facebook and X at Where Yinz Goin. Yinz, Y-I-N-Z, Goin, G-O-I-N with the apostrophe. All this information is in the episode description. So if you want to contact us to book a trip or have any questions, you know how to find us. You don't have to have that written down or have a photographic memory or worry about spelling or anything else. And you don't have to worry about forgetting the B at the end for Amanda. It's right there. Now, please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend if you like what you heard, let others know. You can find us pretty much anywhere you find podcasts. So find us on your favorite place. We're in the neighborhood. Amanda, thank you very much for taking us on this little trip down to Turks and Caicos and visiting beaches. It's I need another vacation now.
I know.
It's one of those things like, you're having beaches withdrawal. I've been gone for too
Yep.
long. You've only been gone for a week. It's still too long. I need to go back.
The hardest part about being a travel advisor is every time I plan a new vacation for somebody else, I'm planning one for myself.
Well, that's the fun thing too, of you get to live vicariously through people and you get to reminisce and think, oh yeah, that place is awesome. You're gonna have fun. But yeah,
Yes.
the longing of I wish I was going with you type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you really want the personal service, if you're willing to pay a little extra, Amanda will come with you and give you firsthand, show you everything and really take care of you.
Yes, I'm very affordable.
Now, for everyone else, please join us next time. We're head at that. We'll see you later.